Ryan here, and welcome back to another episode of Football Media on the Cover Sports channel. Man, I've missed a lot in the last 2 weeks. I think I've been gone. Really quick, just to summarize, I've been at work most of the time, and I had a family affair that I had to go out of state for. It was only a day, but I was completely dead, so I couldn't do much about it. So, if you notice something different in the audio, I am recording on my phone right now, and then I'm recording the audio on my recording software. So I'm gonna see how that one rolls out, and if it sounds good, and if I like it, I'll keep it like that. But if not, I'll use the audio of the video recording. But let's jump into it. I missed a lot of things, like I said. Let's go into the Euros first. I'm gonna cover something I'm late on, which is the quarterfinals, and most of you might know what the quarterfinals, how it went down. But for those who don't know, let's run them down with me. And first, it was, if I look this way, I have my second computer here. And first of all, it was Portugal versus Poland. Yet again, Portugal could not get a victory in the 90 minutes. It was a fifth straight match that they could not. They went to penalty. It stayed 1-1. Reno Sanchez, I believe his name is. If I butchered it, I will fix that. My bad, guys. Said I'm fixing that mid video. But and then Poland was leading, and then this was all in the first half. 2 goals that were scored. Poland was leading, and then Reno Sanchez scored the equalizer, and then for the next 45 minutes, and then extra 30 minutes, it stayed 1-1 into a penalty shootout, which Portugal won in a scoreline of 5-3 on penalty shootout. Portugal advanced to the semifinal, which I'll get to their semifinal match in a bit. And they were waiting the winner of the Wales-Belgium game. This is one of the 2 matches I saw, actually, that I had time to watch, because the other 2 matches I did not have time to watch. And it was Wales-Belgium in that match. I don't know what happened to Wales. I mean, not Wales. Wales excelled very well. Not too much the first half, but the second half they excelled very well. They were pushing forward, and they would keep the ball momentum in their favor, scoring 2 goals in the first. No, 2 goals were scored in the first half. 1 for for Belgium, and 1 for Wales. It was a 1-1 draw heading into the second half. Eden Hazard scored the lone goal for Poland. He's getting back his stride, which is good. For those who don't know who Eden Hazard is, he's one of the better Belgian players there's been in the last couple years. As a striker, he's pretty well, but the last season or so, he kind of died off and didn't appear too much, so he was out of. He didn't seem like a very good contingent, like a good player. But then towards the end of the season with England, he actually started scoring again and assisting and being a big factor. So going into this Euro, he needed a lot of momentum. He used that he had a lot of momentum going for him, and then he scored. He used that momentum to score, I believe, a couple goals in the tournament, and he scored a goal that was leading Belgium. But then towards the end of the first half, Wales scored the equalizer, and then in the second half, like I was stating, 2 goals were scored by Wales because they were dominant. Here's a weird thing that I saw with that matchup. Belgium was attacking. They were moving forward. It's not like they weren't attacking, but they couldn't finalize their attack. They would get to the goal, but they couldn't finish off the attack. So it was very weird how they did that. But then when Wales would get the counterattack, the defense would get to them. But the 2 goals that were scored in the second half were just kind of weird how that happened. But nevertheless, it was great goals by Wales. You can't count them. They couldn't count them out then. It was a good 3-1 victory for Wales, and Wales would face Portugal in the semifinals. That was played 2 days ago. By the time we're recording this, the semifinals have ended, and I'll get to that. I'm covering both the quarterfinals and the semifinals, and I'll give my coverage on what I think on the final. And let's get into the next matchup, which I think was one of the more interesting matchups of the quarterfinal, which was Germany-Italy. My gosh, that was an amazing match. That's all I have to say. There was one match I can't remember from the Copa America. I can't name it off the top of my head. There was one match that I saw. Same thing. Go back and watch that match if you have time. Watch it. Not entirely, maybe towards the halfway point of the first half and then the second half. And if you want to skip over the the 2 extra times because it was a 1-1 draw, and I'll explain that happened. I watched most of the match, so I got to see the goals. But wow, that's all I can't. This match is just like it was an amazing match. It was a back and forth match like soccer normally should be. It was back and forth. Germany was the stronger side. They were attacking more, and nothing would go because they were going against one of the best goalkeepers in the world, Gigi Buffon, who I believe may have just played his last Euro because most likely he's going to retire in 2018 after the World Cup. But that's for another video. That's another story. But that matchup, it seemed kind of unbalanced in favor for Italy, not Italy, for Germany, because they seemed like the better squad and more star players. But Italy they actually held their own. The first half, I believe it was a 0-0 draw, but both teams were going back and forth. When after Germany had a couple of attacks, Italy would come with a counterattack, and their counterattacks were actually dangerous in the first half. But the goal didn't come in until the second half for Germany. There was a lone goal from Mesut Özil. It was an amazing goal. If you see that goal, it was wow. You just go back and watch it. You can go to Adidas Instagram because he's sponsored by Adidas, so you can actually find that video on there. I'll link it down in the description below if you guys are interested on seeing it, and I might put a link on the screen anywhere. And while I'm saying this, but the goal from Italy was a penalty kick because it was a corner kick in favor for Italy, and one of the Italian players was trying to head it, but Jerome Boateng was defending him, and the ball hit the Italian player's head and went up to Jerome Boateng's hand and clearly hit him right here. The referee saw the handball clearly inside the box, called the penalty kick, and I can't remember the name of the player offhand, but he scored the penalty, making it 1-1 towards the latter half of the second half. I mean. So the 90 minutes ended up in a 1-1 draw. Germany did have some significant attacks, but they weren't too major. But Italy would try to defend the most because they knew they could hold off the game more than what Germany was. And then the 30 minutes extra time was per se not the most interesting, but it was entertaining to watch. Them exhausted and still trying to go at it, but the real nerves came into the penalty shootout. I don't know what to say. The penalty shootout, I kid you not, I had to go to work that day at 3 o'clock, and I literally had just like 10 minutes to get to work from my house to work. I live very close to my work. I was watching the penalty shootout to the very end, and I had to take my laptop where I was watching it on to work with me, and that should just explain how much that penalty shootout was amazing. Sadly it was a loss for Italy. It was 6-3. They lost. I believe it was the last 2 penalty shots they missed, and that cost them the match. It went through the first 5 set of shots of the penalty shootout, and then for those who don't know, once it goes past the first 5 sets of shots for the penalty shootout, it goes to whoever misses the next shot loses the match. So that's how that's formatted. But very interesting. It was very entertaining. It was a victory for Germany. It wasn't the best victory, but it was a well-fought victory, well-earned. And they are to the semifinal, and they were waiting the winner of the next matchup of the miracle team Iceland facing the host France. Black Horse versus the host versus the Knight, whatever you want to give expression. I thought this game would have been closer. First half was nowhere near to be close. 2 goals from Oliver Giroud. He was an Arsenal player. Paul Pogba scored 1, and then Peñet from West Ham United scored 1, making that 4-0. That's just in the first half. It was 4-0 towards, I believe, 10 minutes into the second half. Iceland scored a 4-1 differential, and give me a quick second. It was 4-1 after that, and pretty much France just went on a roll, scored 1 more goal, making it 5-1, and then Iceland scored the final goal of the match, making it 5-2. That was the final score of the match, 5-2 in favor for France. France moving on to the next round. in the semifinals, which I'll cover right now. But Iceland, well deserved. They made it to the quarterfinals. 14 million euro payout for making it to the quarterfinals in their first time in the tournament. So it was very good for them, and congrats to them to making to the quarterfinals. I expect more from this Iceland team in the future, and yeah, and let's just jump right next to the semifinals. I know this one's going to be a bit longer, this part, because I got behind, like I said, family affair and working too much. But the first semifinal was on Tuesday. It was Portugal-Wales, and I'm mistaken, that was Wednesday. That was the Wednesday match, that's why I took that pause. It was Wednesday, Portugal-Wales, and finally, after 5 matches of tying in 90 minutes, Portugal won. I'm just going to go out and say it because I did not expect them to win in 90 minutes. I expected Wales to give a bit more of a fight and push forward and challenge the match, but it was a 2-0 victory for Portugal. And Portugal are in their first final since, I believe, 2004. They have reached their first final. Yes, it was 2004. They lost to Greece in that Euro, but convincingly, Cristiano Ronaldo scored a goal, an impressive header, and made an assist. And give me a quick sec. Sorry about the pauses, guys. I'm out of my office, and then my dogs are out here. So, but like I was saying, it was a convincing 2-0 victory. Cristiano Ronaldo scored a goal and an assist, leading them to their second semifinal, I believe, in their history. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. So I'll make my research right on that one. But first finalist, and I'm now up to date with that, is Portugal, and I will cover that final. I'll give my prediction on the final pretty soon. Let's get through the Germany-France, which I was thoroughly surprised. I thought this was same as the Iceland-France game. I thought this would have been more balanced out, and they wouldn't be to this balance. But knowing how good the player that scored the 2 goals for France is, it's kind of just shocking. So it was a 2-0, same scoreline, 2-0 loss for Germany. They went 5 games without conceding a goal. 5th game, they conceded a goal against Italy. 6th game, they conceded 2 goals. In 2 games, they were scored 3 goals. While in 3 games prior to that, 4 games actually, the 3 group stage matchups and the round of the 16 matchups had not conceded a goal. Got 3 goals scored on in 2 match days. And then that was their exit of the tournament. There's no third place matchup in the Euros, so they are eliminated completely. They don't play a third place match. So with that being, the player that scored the 2 goals was Antonio Griezmann, who's an Atletico Madrid player, and he is amazingly good. He's one of the best. He is the best player of the tournament because he has 6 goals already and 2 assists headed into the final. So he has a lot of momentum for France to actually win as host. The last time a host won the Euro was France back in, I can't remember what year. It was back in the 1990s or 80s. I can't remember, but it was very long. It's been a very long time since a host won a Euro. So we could actually see France winning it because I don't see Portugal can be a stronger side, but I don't see them as the strongest side of the tournament. But you never know because they went throughout the whole group stage and two rounds of the knockout stages by tying. They did not. Obviously, they won the round of 16 in extra time, but they didn't win in 90 minutes. And then the quarterfinal match, they didn't win it either in 120 or in the 90 minutes. It took them a penalty shootout to get the victory. But in the most important match that they had to play, which was the semifinal against Wales, they came up big and played to score 2 goals, and then holding Wales, who only lost their match against England, holding them to no goals, holding them to a 2-0 scoreline. That was very surprising. So this Portugal team can actually be rallying around each other and playing. They're playing really good soccer, but I still see France kind of stronger because they just defeated the World Cup champion in Germany, and it wasn't like a 1-0 win. It was a 2-0 convincing fashion. They played very well, and it was very surprising that they actually went through so easily with the 2-0 win. It wasn't an easy win, hard fought win, but the scoreline kind of differs with what people think. See, 2-0, oh, okay, they weren't playing good soccer. They didn't have certain players. The only players that were actually notable out of the matchups was Matt Hummels, who was out on a suspension for card accumulation, and then Mario Gomez was out on a injury that he received in the match against Italy. He was subbed out, for those who didn't know, on that match. But now heading into the final, it's Portugal, France. Like I was stating earlier, I kind of want to see France win, but you never know. Like I said, Portugal went 6-5 matches without an actual 90-minute victory. So it's going to be interesting seeing what kind of style they bring into the final. Will they bring the style they used in the semifinal, or will they use this tying style they've been using, go to extend the game to a penalty shootout, to extra time, to exhaust the opponent, and make this a mental game where it's your exhaustion and your nerves of trying to lift your country to victory. It's going to be very interesting how this happens, how it's all going to work out. But I believe the final is, let me bring this up. It is June 10th, so it is this Sunday for those who are interested. Most likely this video will be out on Sunday. I'm not too sure yet, but I'm going to work on trying to upload it either during Sunday, before the matchup, or tomorrow. But I don't think I'll do it. It might be tomorrow because I'm going to be out of town, but I'm going to take my laptop and have that all recorded and rendered so I can upload it. But that was the Euros. We are one match away, and most likely I'll do my coverage video the following day on the Monday. But really quick, I want to talking about scheduling. Most likely I'm going to have a schedule for when these videos come out, because I have not had a schedule, so I'll get into that in a bit. But let's go into the transfer news, all the news of the world right now, because there's not other tournaments. So let's just get into it. Give me a quick second, guys. To the news around the world, transfer news. That's just the new little thing, that the news segment that's going to be on, because since there's no right now, there's a lot of things that I've missed, so I'm just going to jam it all together now because I got behind. And I'm going to start off with some news that's dating back to the match against France and Iceland. So all the news that started then, and then I'll move myself backwards. If I look this way, like I said, I'm looking at my second monitor. There's some things I kind of forgot, and I have to refresh myself, and I'll remember as it goes. But one of the major things was, I believe 2 weeks ago, Manchester City finally revealed. They have revealed that Pep Guardiola was their new head coach, but they finally had the presentation for him as the new head coach, and also the unveiling of their new kit for the upcoming season in the Premier League. Also, Chelsea signed a new player. I don't know how to pronounce his name. You'll see him on screen right about now. Let me fix that so it will look better. So there is that. Like I said, there's a lot of things I've missed over the last couple of weeks, and there's a lot of things I got to catch up on. One of the major things that also Zlatan Ibrahimovic has been presented as a Manchester United player after doing his physical and his contract. Also, it looks like the former Arsenal keeper Solskjaer, sorry if I butchered that name, will try to remain at Roma. He was at Roma as a loan from Arsenal to Roma, but it looks like the club want to continue have his services at the Roma, so Roma are trying to get an agreement with Arsenal to keep him at the club. Also, there was a statement from Mario Balotelli. For those who don't know, Mario Balotelli is a Italian forward who he has caused a lot of controversy. I will say that. Sorry, I'll put that right there. He has caused controversy in these years. Partying. He's notorious for partying. Sorry if I put that sounds so wrong. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. But notorious for going out and doing crazy stuff. And he's been moving around from club to club. At first, he was at Manchester City, but from there, He went to he went to AC Milan, and then from Milan he went to Liverpool, and then from Liverpool he went back on loan to AC Milan. He's been all over the place. He's been one of those players who was great, and then let the fame get to his head, so it went down. But he said that in his statement, he said that on a scale to from 0 to 10, he stops himself at a 5, but he'll eventually get to a 10, and that he was going to get there, and he wants to win a Balón de Oro. And I believe he followed up by saying, "I know it's crazy that I said that, but I will make it there." So he is still one of my favorite players. Him and El Shaarawy, when it comes to Italy, are my favorite players. I was kind of saddened that neither of them got called up to the Italian squad for this Euro. They're young upstart players, but they need a little more club time to further their not their careers, but their playing style, that it could match more closely to the Italian playing style that it is now. But he said that statement. He is now returned from loan at AC Milan to Liverpool, but it looks like Liverpool do not want to keep him, and there are rumors that he will be leaving the club. I was reading rumors earlier today that Chicago Fire are interested, and Philadelphia Union in the MLS are interested in signing him, but it doesn't look like they're going to make the move because of how he is. But you never know; he can come to MLS. I'll be actually glad. I'll go see a match of him. I'll record it for you guys. Well, let me know also if you want me to record any of the matches I go to. I'll talk about that in another video, but that's a little thing to throw out right now. But also, Juventus have announced that Alvaro Morata has officially left the club. So he's no longer a Juventus player. He is a Real Madrid player now. And on their Facebook and their Instagram, they officially said, "Gracias, thank you, Alvaro," in saying thank you for all his time at the club the past 3 years on helping them further their style and become 5-time champions, 5 straight champions to be correct, in the Serie A. But let's go up, and also Barcelona have activated their buyback clause for Denis Suarez, who was at Villarreal at the moment, and he was the past season at Villarreal, and Barcelona activated his buyback clause, and he has come back to Barcelona. And many say he is the next Iniesta on his playing style. He's similar to Iniesta. I've yet to actually see him play. I might have seen him, but it's hard to compare players, especially like Iniesta, to a younger guy, because a younger guy can actually develop a different style of play and kind of not surpass or equal. He could equal that style, but his own way. I kind of find it weird when they actually do that kind of stuff, but that's what he's dubbed, the next Iniesta. But he's returned at Barcelona, and he has already been presented back at the club. Also, Lazio head coach. Lazio head coach. He's from Argentina. Has just resigned after just being 2 days at the club, and the club is going to take illegal action against him because he is in breach of contract. But it's most likely, for what I'm going to say right now, is because the Argentina head coach spot has been vacated. Gerardo Martinez resigned from the club. From the national team, and he's no longer the national team head coach. He's resigned, and right now at the moment, there's no head coach. I believe it's the assistant head coach who is going to lead the squad down to Brazil in the Rio games. So it's going to be very interesting how this develops and further, because to update what I said in the last video about Messi retiring, he has retired. He is not going to play no more international soccer, so that's a loss in the international scene with Messi retiring so young. I understand 3 straight finals losses. It's hard, but sometimes you got to get back up and keep on playing, even though it hurts. But he is retired, so after that, I believe a week or so, Gerardo Martinez resigned from the national team, and right now there's no it's a vacated spot, and a lot of people think that this Argentina head coach might go back because he has been the head coach for the national team before, but he did something similar also to a club, I can't remember, to Espanyol, way back, I believe in the 80s. He did the same thing, just a couple days, left the coaching job and went to coach the national team for the first time in his career, and He did. I think many people think he's going to do the same thing now that he has breached his contract, because it's not that he resigned in 2 days. He's breached his contract within 2 days. He's no longer head coach. The assistant coach that was in the interim head coach last season will be at the helm again, leading the Lazio squad into the upcoming Premier League, not Premier League, Serie A season, which is coming up soon. I believe all the leagues start up back in August, towards mid-August, towards the end of August, and I'll be covering all the leagues. I have a certain format that I'm trying to figure out for that, but that's what actually happened. I was very surprised when I heard that one. I was like, oh gosh. But the next thing that Paris Saint-Germain are interested in signing James Rodriguez. I don't think James Rodriguez will go there. It's kind of weird if he actually does, because his style is not to the Premier to the League One league style. It's very weird. It's not high pace, not slow down, it's not middle pace. It's if you have a star player, they're gonna score. That's pretty much how I see it. Only reason that Paris Saint-Germain want to go out for a big player because Zlatan was their big player, and since he left the club to Manchester United, the club owners are looking to have another face, quote unquote face of the team. Even though they have Angel Di Maria and Pastore and a lot of big players like that, but that's their decision that they want to go through with. And also, ex-Borussia Dortmund player, I can't say his name, I'll pop him on the screen, has signed a contract to Manchester United, so he's a Manchester United player now. And very interesting, Borussia Dortmund have slowly, but under the hand, you have to pay close attention, have taken shots to the players that have left the club and gone to other clubs. One incident was towards the beginning of the summer, I believe, when I can't remember the player's name. Yeah, some of these reports are kind of old, so I don't remember them offhand. But in their Facebook post saying thank you, they said the player is moving to Manchester City, who finished fourth in the Premier League, and that's kind of a shot at Manchester City, because they specifically stated out what position they finished in, fourth place, which is a Champions League playoff spot. And then the player that just left right now to Manchester United, in the thank you post to the player, they said the player is moving to Manchester United and will be playing in the Premier League and the Europa League. The Europa League, for those who don't know, is the secondary division championship tournament. It's the equivalent of the Champions League, but just a tier lower, the second tier of the European competitive play. And they kind of just straight out said he's going to go play there, and best of luck for him because we're going to be in the Champions League. So that's pretty much what they're saying. It's like, you're going down to the tier 2, we're staying in the tier 1. And I kind of see that, I kind of understand the club, where they're coming out with that one. But you also got to understand, players have to understand that their club are hurt, that they gave them, it seemed like they would have stayed there longer, but they didn't. And yeah, that's the end of that. Also, it looks like Wolfsburg have unveiled their new kits. They finished their deal with Kappa and have signed a deal with Nike. So Nike will be making their new kits. And it looks like Manchester United also are in pursuit to actually signing back Paul Pogba after they sent him over to Juventus. They let him go on a free transfer fee, and now that he's made himself a name, they want to buy him back. Obviously, that's always a trend when a young star who no one thought would do anything good would become a rising star and actually prove himself in another club. The original club will want to buy him back, but most of the time, the player likes where he's at. Like Cristiano Ronaldo also, he was at Manchester United, but he was already a big name there, and he went to Real Madrid, and there's always links for Cristiano Ronaldo to go back to Manchester United. There's other couple players going back to their home club, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think Paul Pogba is going to actually stay in Juventus and not leave the club because the club's giving him so much and he's done so much at the club. It's kind of hard seeing him go. But Jose Mourinho, also in Manchester United news, Jose Mourinho has been presented as the new head coach after Louis van Gaal resigned at the end of the season after winning the FA Cup. Many speculated he was going to stay, but he actually left the club, and Jose Mourinho was very speculated for a couple, or I believe 2 months, that he was going to be the head coach, but there was debunkings, and then the rumors resurfaced again. It was back and forth, but it ended up with him actually signing to the club earlier, towards the end of last week, earlier this week, and then I know for sure earlier this week he was presented as the new head coach, and then he's already made 3 major signings with Zlatan, the Borussia Dortmund player, and there's one other player that I will bring up now because I feel really... I don't know this player, but I'll put him on screen. I'll put all 4 of the new signings pretty much of Manchester United. And yeah, it looks like there's a lot of transfer news that you can cover, but then it's like... Oh, also, really quick, I want to state that Messi was actually found guilty in the tax fraud case that it was... Oh gosh, that was very bad, excuse me. In the tax fraud case he was in, him and his father were found guilty. Messi paid 2 million euros and his father paid 1.5 million euros. They were sentenced to 21 months of prison time. Both were, so it was a total of 42 months prison time. But in Spain, the ruling is if you get a sentence under 24 months, you can be on probation and do not have to serve the jail time in a jail. You will be be placed under probation during that period of time, and from there, most likely, you'll see what happens if they actually negate the sentence for good behavior, or will they have to actually serve time if anything else surfaces from that case. But that's just a little. That's one of the more heavier things that have been covered in the last couple of weeks. Not the last couple of weeks. Oh, I just hit my mic. The last couple months, not months. Wow, I'm actually on fire, guys. On my but let me see here what I'm trying to make sure I don't forget. Also, there was one club that was interested in Carlos Bacca, and it was, I believe it was a Premier League squad. Yes, West Ham United are interested in Carlos Bacca and signing him. Most likely he might go to it. I don't know if he will, but you never know on that one. But trying to see here. I think that's where I'm gonna wrap it up. This video has been the second part has been kind of long, so there's a lot more that I'll cover in the next video. I just wanted to make sure I got up to date with all the videos I've been missing right now. But thank you guys for watching, and like I said in one of my other videos, I'm working on outros, working on video quality. I'm trying to video this. The reason this video took a while to get out because I'm trying to set up Adobe Premiere Pro, because I want to begin using that software for editing and all that good jazz. But also, I just want to say thank you for all your support. And also, new series will be coming out soon. I actually want to start making this new series because there's so much stuff going on in the world of sports. I have so much that I'm missing out and that I want to get out to you guys. So most likely, I will have it done starting Wednesday. I will have that done. Start recording that so I can have time to have that out. But look forward to that. It's going to be related to the new channel name, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Thank you for all your support. If it wasn't for you guys' support, I wouldn't be here. Thank you so much. But I think that's it. Talk to you guys in the next video, and thank you for all your support. If you liked the video, if you truly did like it, hit that like button, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button for all new content coming out pretty soon. But other than that, thank you guys for all your support. I'll say that again as many times as I can, because if it wasn't for the viewers, a lot of YouTubers wouldn't know where we'd be at now. But thank you guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.